Let's quickly take a look at how Pega combines automation, artificial intelligence, and robotic process automation to create great customer experiences and an operationally efficient organization. Let's pretend that our fictitious bank, U Plus Bank, receives thousands, if not millions, of emails every single month. Typically today, that manually gets processed by a person and isn't really tracked in any way, so it can't be tied to a customer's profile. Instead, let's see what Pega can help with in this situation. So let's pretend we're a customer and we're going to send an email to our bank to add a new user to our account in a certain location on a certain date. A Pega user in the back office now picks up a case because Pega was listening for that email and has picked it up and created an email triage case. We can drill into that case and see some interesting information. Using text analytics and natural language processing, it's figured out that it's a positive sentiment, and the subject matter most likely is a new user request, so it's suggesting that to our user. By drilling in, we can see that Pega has automatically mapped some data, and the work user in the back office can make some changes and map some data manually as well. Upon doing that, he then creates a case of type new user request. This triage is now resolved, and this case gets routed to a worker. The worker sees it. In this case, it's N-121, a new user request case. He opens it, and he can begin now spinning around to his legacy systems of record to add that new user. So this was okay. It helped a little bit, made us a little bit more efficient. We can do even better. Let's look at the Pega Channel Interface Designer. We're going to open up the Intelligent Virtual Assistant for email. And what we're going to say is we want to create a case of type new user request when the system determines, the AI determines that this is of type new user request and that we have a fairly high confidence level that this is the case. So the AI figures that out. We now save this new behavior. And now let's go back to our customer view, and let's send in another add new user to my account email request into U Plus Bank, this time John Connor. We're going to add to our account. So we send that off. Once again, the user using Pega in the back office gets a case. This time it's completely bypassed triage and created a new user case N-122. Okay, so we're getting a little bit more efficient by skipping triage, but we can do even better than that using robotic process automation. So let's see how we go ahead and do that by once again going back into Pega Express. We're going to pull up the case definition of a new user request. And we see that second step on the first chevron is manually add user. This is where the user spins around to those 20 and 30-year-old systems and manually updates them. Instead, what we're going to add is a robotic process automation here to this step. And we're going to choose one that we've already created that interfaces naturally using the same interfaces that a human would use in those legacy systems. We save that definition, we go back to our customer, and now let's just send a bunch of requests in. We're going to add Barry, Larry, and Carrie to our account. We check back to the back office, and over on the right at the bottom, we see we have some team members, some robots. Those robots are listening, and suddenly they pick up those requests, puts them in their queue, they begin processing them, and if we look now at a server farm somewhere, those are the legacy applications that are popping up. The robots are automatically entering the data, now eliminating the cases from their queue. We can drill into our robot manager to see that they're all running, they're healthy, they're provisioning new users, they're resetting passwords. And if we drill into one of our robots, we see that just a minute ago, it did a new user request N133. And the great thing about it is now back to our customer within seconds. Before they can even walk away from their keyboard, they get an email response back that their work has been completed with their case ID. Truly great customer experience, an operationally efficient organization, and one that is agile as well.